Abuja mama me kwa ban famna ke black media. Abuja ya vacancy ho nsensen for vacancies ya ne ukopie mu ewo ya mrehye bedwafi a eje ne ho ntena ha no. Abuja ensam yi ya MPP for tabira asem yi dese de kopie mu Supreme Court say oba tampa sabi ono for partner pa amani na no ma no. Ya ma me Chief Justice Gertrude Tekono ya pese wo kan asem yi bi de maye. Na ne Bagbin so dodo agya wose me tintintiniti ne manwu samra ne da na wase wa na me deto ene mato parliament pono mu dinsafo ye gumbotom na ne Ghana fo ebise nye eno na nansen na wotwe ye twam ya asem ye Chief Justice Gertrude etena asem so no si o asem we say de ye hwemu a ne MPP fo ne ka no ye nokore enti e wose omo akoso ye dom kase wo mrehye bedwafi eno ana Bagbin eti wonum no se David we san ye kata hyehyɛ ne proye ene sabi ahurikankan a ekoso ana partism ho sensem a awura Chief Justice etirimu a asem we sei enka wo kan 92 constitution article 97 a ekyeremu pefe se political party bi mu obitimi kopie mu mehye bedwafi a na the end of the day nipa ne se wontimi ni political party ne nya adwuma bi mu e wo so de na kunya to wonum akopem se emfie nan bedu am yato aba enti adena we yakoso na yede keta hyehyɛ mu aso na papa yi se wonte ase abusia na 3rd of November 2024 ya kwasi na Alban Bagbin Speaker of Parliament aye press conference na ne brofi o we sa bebede edigu honum se na wonte ase no wo kire Ghana for se sebi eba se parliament ya ono ene kura tumi na ne wakasa pa na mpese o ka me ho na kwaji nkyiremu na ono nko lawyer fo bebre nso akasa lawyer bi te say lawyer pe bi ono nso ba be kan sem bebre de afa press conference hu abuja kam won nkodi nchiremu no mlasisi ye
to become the minority and this will become the majority so quickly. People will go and hide behind constitutional provisions. I'm a realist. I'm not going to do that. Oh, if you go by the literalist approach, the guidelines from the Supreme Court, well, long ago from T0ugh versus T0ugh, there are too many Supreme Court decisions. We don't want to go into Supreme Court decisions and make this overly technical. So I just made the main points. So if you're just going by the literalist approach, you say the Supreme Court has jurisdiction. But if you're a realist, you see that this is a ruse. The provision is very clear, and the same Supreme Court. Look, lawyers will tell you. Even Bobby was there recently. The celebrities doing adverts, etc. Right? There are many decisions. They will tell you that look, this thing they don't see anything wrong. There is no interpretation arising. The thing is very clear. Don't come and waste our time here, right? Yeah, they even sometimes from the way they react, it's just like we are not doing a good job as lawyers, right? They say, but this thing is clear. Why are you wasting our time, etc. I'm telling you that 97 clause 1, G and H are also very clear to me. I'm a realist because what I see beneath this case is plain politics, partisan politics, NDC versus MPP, which has been dressed up as a constitutional interpretation matter, but it is not. So, because we have different jurisprudential views, etc., you will find the Supreme Court saying for them they see a jurisdictional issue. So on that basis, you can't fault them because you see, finally, they are the ones you've given the power to. We can't fault them right now, but rather what we will begin to fault is the Constitution and the power of the president to appoint. Because when the president is appointing, I told you, I mentioned the week before last week, the president will not appoint Honorable Dafia Meko because he knows Dafia Meko is what? MPP. NDC, right? I'm switching you, forgive me. You see? So they will not appoint Dafia Meko because they know, hey, he's NDC. So if the matter comes, because in law we have different viewpoints, he will take the viewpoint that will enable him to rule against the president's wishes. You see the selection? So therefore selection, you line up and select the people who are sympathetic to your views. That one will say plainly. You see? They will say plainly. You see all the lawyers, because the qualification to the Supreme Court, I tell you, there is no exam, so there is no exams. After 15 years at the bar, whether maybe you are a judge or you are a lawyer at the bar, you qualify. Of course, there are other things like you shouldn't have moral turpitude, those ones, right? But I'm talking about the main criteria. 15 years. If you're a lawyer for 15 years, you qualify. Good. And so look at the lawyers. We're over 4,000. And many of them are more than 15 years.
Including yourself?
Yes. I'm 17. This is my 18th year.
I see.
So, when they are selecting Supreme Court, did you see the last time they were selecting? They said, oh, people, you to come. We see you are very passionate about this and governance. Come and take a seat on the Supreme Court. Did you see? No. They will select people who they see from their track record. Look, affiliations. Look, if you don't say this democracy will not grow. It's by affiliations. Sure. You think if you don't know the president or they are not comfortable with you, anybody will make a mistake and say, go and sit on the Supreme Court. Whether NDC, MPP, is the same thing. So in short, the Supreme Court is more of a political organization. We will not be shy to say that, because if you don't do that, you won't understand the decisions. If we don't do that, you won't understand the political decisions.
Disagree whether NPP
look, you guys do the same thing you do.
I disagree.
NDC, MPP, you choose your friends. Your friends. That's what happens. You choose people who are sympathetic to you. So if you want to be more, so let me show you how it is done. When you don't want to use the word friends and people who are affiliated to you, the way to hide it is to say, oh, people whose jurisprudential views are aligned with your party. So that's big English. The plain meaning of it is people who are friends with you. That is it. If you want to understand the plain English, let's not go and speak, oh, people who philosophically are aligned with you. No. That when you hear philosophically aligned with one party or your views, the plain meaning of it is when you are friends, when we are comfortable, when we can go to bed knowing that when a matter like this comes, you will vote for us. That is it.
So you don't fault the Supreme Court on this jurisdictional matter?
Yes, but what I'm faulting is the way our constitution is so weak, so lopsided, that it gives the president the power to choose Supreme Court judges. Going forward, we don't want such a provision. Even the Chief Justice herself hinted at it at her vetting, where she said no. She thinks the constitutional provisions 148, etc., giving the president a role in the discipline of judges, etc., it's not good for our democracy. That's Chief Justice T0ugh herself saying it. It's not good because it's weakening the institutions of government. Because look, if you look at a constitution right now, the way it's modeled there, it's like you buy one, you get one free. So you get the executive, then you get control of the judiciary through appointments. So buy the executive through elections, you campaign and you become president, then you get to control judiciary through appointments, etc. It's not only the discipline. Chief Justice T0ugh has also had occasion to complain that the executive will not release money to the judiciary, right? They sit on the money, kind of sit on the money. Don't release releases that are due. And what do? Through that you will influence them. Yes, she said it. So for our democracy, please, moving forward, this then that the president would appoint High Court, Court of Appeal and Supreme Court judges is the first provision to go if you want this democracy to grow. Because right now, as I sit and look at Article 97 and see that this is a storm in a teacup, the thing is very clear. It says that, look, H, if the person, so 1H says a member of parliament shall vacate his seat in parliament. H, let's start with the easier one. If he was elected a member of parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party. So as we sit now, the papers that were filed at the EC for Esiama, what did they say? It's Esiama an independent candidate at the EC. He's MPP. It's MPP that filed for him. So what is constitutional interpretation about this? What is constitutional interpretation? Esiama is MPP today. If you say the provision is for the future parliament, so are we saying that Esiama should win the elections? Let's say, for example, he wins on December 7th. And then just after winning on December 7th, let's say January 7th, they are sworn in. And then, because those who say the election is for the future, Esiama who is just sworn in on, let's say, January 7th, 2025, immediately will lose the seat. Those who are saying that if you join a political party, meaning he's joined a political party in future. So he's just won the elections, sworn in, and immediately he loses the seat. And so we have to go for a new by-election. What kind of interpretation is it?
But I hear that the Attorney General also make that point that to the extent that